Welcome back. This is Hurtler USA, and this is going to be episode 12 of Chief Slopatopoke and my Russian game. Let's see. I think last time I just kind of ended a war. Looks like now my Russian liege is involved in a war, and it looks like whatever side we're on is not doing very well. We're at negative 75%. And it looks like I'm trying to marry one of my dynasty members off. I didn't quite catch who it was. Oh, it's my grandson. Let's see if we can find him someone skilled and useful, perhaps. Looks like I might go with this first lady here. She had pretty high skills, so we'll send that away. Lots of armies all here. Got the... It looks like my grandson will be getting married to this lady of Dahotville. And then I've got this lady here is now known as the Unfaithful. I guess that's my daughter or granddaughter, perhaps. Looks like Reinforced Hill Fort was just produced in Torpitz. And let's see, not too much going on right now. Looks like this is kind of one of those times where you kind of wait around a little bit in Crusader Kings 2, kind of wait for something to happen. Looks like I'm looking over my titles, look at them all. I sure have a lot. But we're under Gavelkind, so when Chief Slopatopoke departs the earth, I'm going to lose quite a few of those titles, I believe. We'll see what happens. Looks like I'm thinking about building something here. I'm going to build a stone hill fort in Torpitz. Cost me 142 gold. And I'm looking at I'm going to maybe build something here in Ladaga too. I'm going to go also with the stone hill fort. And I'm going to put the speed back up pretty fast. There's my, I think, granddaughter who wants to be educated. So I'm looking over my family tree now, trying to figure out, not exactly sure what I'm trying to figure out. I guess I'm just looking over my family tree to get an idea of, you can see there's my first wife was Stefania. My second wife apparently only had one child, and my third wife now has 3 of her own. So Chief Slopatopoke has been pretty busy when he's not ruling his kingdom. So right now I'm looking at how everyone stacks up in the realm. I think I'm trying to figure out how I can make someday make my move and potentially become King of the Rus was my plan. Especially ever since the King of the Rus decided to revoke a bunch of my titles, I've been pretty upset about that. So it looks like this guy here I can righteously imprison. It looks like he's planning on trying to kill one of my vassals for some reason. Not clear why. I'm not sure what my plan is for him. I guess as a reminder, I recorded the video for this game back on July 22nd. It's now September 9th, so if it seems like I'm having a little trouble remembering what I was thinking, that's probably the case. It's alright though. It's fun to, I like going back. I feel like an NFL coach. I'm like reviewing my game tape. I'm like trying to figure out what all the mistakes I made. So it looks like this guy, I'm just going to tell him to end his plot. I don't wish to imprison him. He likes me a lot, so no reason to throw him in jail is my stance. Looking over my counselors, looks like everyone's busy doing their job. That's always good. Looks like the war that the Russian king is in is now going better. It's now negative 3% instead of negative 75%. Looks like I've decided I want to fabricate a different claim. A daughter was born to, I think, my daughter. A son was born to perhaps my son. I clicked those away so quickly, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what they were for. Looks like sent him to fabricate a claim on the part of Tavar there. So hopefully, very soon, I'll have a claim and I can go to war. Today my grandson Radislav asked me for a fief of his own to govern. He does like me a lot. I think there's a chance I'll give it to him, although I don't remember. I think maybe I decided to try to give him that place, since it was the wrong government type anyways. Send it away. There he goes. He's now landed. Well, I guess that's kind of an example of where the greasy wheel gets the oil or whatever. My grandson wanted a property, so I gave him one. I don't know if I really should have listened to his demands, but you know, it's probably nice. Part of me thinks that giving out the titles now might be better than giving them out when I die anyways, because when I die, who knows what'll happen with Gavelkind going on, so I don't know. I guess I decided to give it to that guy. So he now has a title. I'm trying to get some people to end some plots now. Looks like none of that really panned out though. Looks like I do have one claim, but I can't press it. I think I'm trying to figure out what titles my heir is supposed to get upon my death so that I can try to build that place up as much as possible so that my heir is not in a super weak position. Looks like I'm looking over my armies, trying to figure out, looking at this guy here, who doesn't want to provide me with troops. Try to figure out what his beef is, try to get him on the green side so that he'll provide me with troops. Looks like this guy here has founded the High Chief Roman for the Rus faction. I guess I'm looking to see if I would like this guy better than the current king. I'm not really sure. I think I decided that this guy's slightly better. But I don't recall if I decided to go for it. This guy here has an independence faction way down there in Pereslaval or something. It's the one, well, not the one, but one of the hard things about playing this game is a lot of the names of the counties, etc. are very confusing. Especially because I'm not really Russian, so these names are all pretty foreign to me, but it's good. Looks like I have a couple of plots I could do. I could kill this young boy for some reason. I don't usually go for the killing of young children. It doesn't really fit my play style. And I also could forge a claim on the Kingdom of the Rus, but I don't really... I think I looked at that plot a couple of times, and I think what I determined was that there wouldn't be enough support for me to do that, so probably isn't a good idea, because that would potentially give my liege a real reason to do something mean to me, so probably just leave him alone. I think I'm looking at each of my Demence lands, and I'm trying to figure out who that they're supposed to go to upon my death. I think, maybe not. Because I was definitely trying to figure out how to strengthen the places that my heir would keep, so that in theory he could kind of retain some semblance of control of the realm after my character died. Trying to figure out how to go to elective Gavelkind, which I guess wouldn't really help me all that much, I don't think. Actually, I don't think I've ever actually used elective Gavelkind, so I'm not really exactly sure what it offers. But I presume that it just allows me to pick my primary heir, and then the titles still get divvied up in crazy ways, such as Gavelkind. Looks like I got my centralization as minimum. Feudal taxation. Maybe because I'm not independent, maybe I am missing the tribal control thing there, so maybe it all has to come through my liege at this point. A lot of nuances to this game. It's very complicated. I've put in a ton of hours, and there's still a lot of things that'll catch you off guard. Although a lot of my hours have been in the Game of Thrones mods, so that game is slightly different, so that probably explains some of my issues. Alright, looks like there's still an independence faction. Looks like they're actually stronger than my liege, so that's interesting. Probably because he's been fighting a war, which he's actually now winning. He's at 49% war score. Looks like I am now the strongest guy in the realm, so that's pretty awesome. It's like Countess, yeah, they're at, only with 1,700 men, they're at 253% of our liege. That seems ridiculous, but I'm going to go ahead and join that faction. And we'll see what happens. In order to avoid a fruitless civil war, King... Haha. Check that out. I believe that I am now, yes, I'm independent. Because I joined that independence faction, the king did not want to fight us, and I now have the capability to create the kingdom of Ruthenia, it looks like. So that's pretty cool. Looks like I now can raise a max of like 5,000 or so men, which is pretty good. Got 222 gold right now. Looks like I borrowed some money. The following important decisions. So I can found a new kingdom. Or I can create the kingdom of Ruthenia. Looks like that would be pretty good. And I created it. Cost me 350 gold, 200 piety. King Slotopope the Usurper is now King Slotopope the Usurper of Ruthenia. And that is pretty exciting. This is actually, I've been playing this game a long time, and generally I don't actually get to king level. I usually start pretty small, and I'm like a pretty loyal vassal generally, but the King of the Rus, he decided not to be my friend. So this time, I guess I've struck on my own. So you can see now, I have the Kingdom of Ruthenia, and it's all intermingled, kind of with the Kingdom of the Rus. So now, kind of my goal is, I guess number one, I want to expand the Kingdom of Ruthenia, but I'd also like to get control of the Kingdom of the Rus as well, and then I can potentially, eventually, create the Empire of Russia. So I think now that I'm King of the Rus, this is probably a good time to call it a day.